This is Alan Cerny, Nordling from Ain't It Cool, and this is John Ary for Ain't It Cool News, and this is the wrap-up, last day of Fantastic Fest. Well, I'm pretty overwhelmed. I couldn't even tell you what my favorite film is. There's so many great movies I've seen here. It's kind of weird. At the first 3 or 4 days, I was feeling like the festival hadn't really kicked in yet. And then Looper hit, and I think after that, that's when it really went just bug nuts, bug crazy. And so, what do you think your favorite film of the fest is so far? Well, it's not so far; it's over now. So.
Yeah. Well, definitely the secret screening last night of Cloud Atlas was easily the highlight for me, at least. And I just got out of Holy Motors, which I think is going to take me a couple days to process. And it's like the wrong film to watch at the very end after your brain has been mushed up by like dozens of films, but I think those two definitely are the standouts for me.
Holy Motors is amazing. I think it's one of the finest films of the fest that's ever played here. And yet I know for a fact that 90% of the people who see it are going to come out kind of angry, and the 10% who see it, who love it, are going to have their lives changed. And I'll tell you what, it didn't kick in for me until maybe yesterday how much I really loved it, because I've been throwing it around in my head for a couple of days. And then I heard that song from the interval sequence, the accordion music, Let My Baby Ride. And I heard it on YouTube, somebody sent a link, and it just zoom, all fell into place for me. And it's like, holy crap, I saw a masterpiece. You know, it's like, you know, what are you going to do? It's just such a brilliant film. It's not an easy film to watch. It's more of an experience than a movie. People picking apart plot, trying to find plot, are not gonna enjoy it. You have to let it ride, just like the song, Let Your Baby Ride. You got to ride it out, and then once you do, it's such a rewarding film. Cloud Atlas is a capital M masterpiece. That movie is so much my worldview, I can't even say. I mean, it's such a piece of optimism, and the optimism is so strong, it's almost revolutionary. The Wachowskis and Tom Twyker have created a film so rich. It's a genre exploration. It's an exploration in storytelling. It's got some of the best performances all year. It's 3 hours long, and it feels like it's 15 minutes. And there are moments in it that are just pure transcendent cinema. They just don't get much better than that movie. If I see a movie better this year, first off, I will treasure that movie forever, and secondly, I'd be extremely surprised.
Oh, I totally agree. Going into it, you have no idea what to expect. And it definitely has a lot to live up to, especially with those trailers. I mean, those 4-minute trailers that came out blew my mind in a lot of ways, and the film lives up to it in every possible way. And what I love about it is you can't classify it as a specific genre. It is a film unto itself, and it does things with the editing and the production that I don't think I've ever seen before. And talking to a lot of folks afterwards, they hadn't seen before either, and that is so rare. Yeah, I loved it, and I can't wait to see it again. It's long, but it's definitely worth the wait, and it's definitely worth sitting through.
It's like a symphony. It really is, and it's not just one genre. It's every genre. You know, every genre. They cut on science fiction, anime, comedy, even mystery and intrigue and historical film. It's just everything is beautiful. Some of the other films that we've seen, I really dug. I Declare War. I saw it twice. It's a genuinely great movie about kids, as opposed to being a kids movie. But I still wouldn't have any problem showing it to a 12-year-old or anything, even though they drop quite a few F-bombs in it. I think it's a really great slice of life for kids, and I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I would totally agree on that too. As a kid who grew up loving G.I. Joe, this is in a lot of ways like the ultimate love letter to G.I. Joe.
Right?
Playing war in the backyard and going down to the creek. I absolutely loved it. As a 34-year-old man, it feels like it was custom made for me, and I absolutely loved it. I really hope that it gets picked up by a distributor soon, because it definitely needs to be seen.
I think so too. It should be deserved. It deserves to be seen. I'm 43, and I could totally relate to it as well. The documentaries this year have been drop dead great. Probably the best of the documentaries I saw was The American Scream, which will be playing on the Chiller channel in October, late October. It's a movie about haunted house enthusiasts and 3 families in this small town in Massachusetts in particular. And it's fantastic. I'm going to use that word a lot. It's just wonderful. They're so rich in emotion. There's one moment at the end of the movie where a haunted house makes this little baby cry. I've never been so happy to see a baby cry in my life. It was like so rewarding just to watch this baby burst into tears. And it sounds incredibly mean and evil of me to say that, but in the context of the movie, you want to pump your fists in the air and go, yeah! You know, it's so wonderful. There's another documentary called The Final Member, which is about a penis museum in Iceland, and it's also really great. It's really a movie about passionate. Just it's hard to describe. I mean, well, it's not really hard to describe, but there's more going on than just, you know, penises everywhere. It's about one man's passion for discovery. And see, it sounds so weird the more you talk about it. There's nothing you can really do. It's a great documentary. It hasn't been picked up. Most people won't see it because of the subject matter, but the ones who do will find that it's not as risque as they think, and there's really a lot of emotional heft to the movie.
Yeah, I didn't see Final Member, so I can't vouch for it. But definitely, American Scream will get you ready for Halloween more than any other film I think you could possibly watch. It has so much heart. It's so endearing. I absolutely loved it as well. And yeah, I walking out of that movie, all I wanted to do was go to a haunted house or go trick or treating or go take someone trick or treating, because it just puts you in the mindset and the mood.
Right. I saw one movie today called The History of Future Folk, which I thought was really wonderful. It's one's a little hard to describe. It's Tenacious D in a weird way, but not. I mean, that's kind of reductive. It's about these two guys who are musicians, but they also happen to be from an alien planet, and they're trying to warn our planet through their music that we are in risk of imminent destruction. That's really all I can say about it, and I probably said too much already, but it's really wonderful, really sweet documentary. You can tell it was made on the cheap, but it's the emotion and the characters and the humor of it. It's really sweet, which I really dug a lot. Any particular movie you saw that just rang and chime as well?
You know, I liked Unit 7. It's a Spanish cop drama. You know, cops who are basically good kind of get on the wrong side of the law. If you like things like The Shield, or you like cop dramas in general, I think folks are going to definitely dig that. Also, another documentary, which I think you wrote about, was Room 237.
Yeah.
The documentary about all the conspiracy theories and different ideas about The Shining and what some of the symbols and the metaphor meant in it.
Right.
Some of those metaphors and conspiracy theories are a bit of a stretch, in my opinion, and it's a very cold documentary, much like a Stanley Kubrick film, but it's very interesting, and again, makes you want to go watch The Shining after it, just to find all the small little details that have been pulled out of it.
Yeah, I thought Room 237 stopped being really a movie about The Shining and started being a movie about these people that are talking about The Shining and how kind of nuts they are, you know, how they're invested a little too much in this movie, and yet there is a sequence in the middle of the film, the Apollo 11 stuff about the moon landing, which, you know, it didn't change my mind, but you know, you stepped into this guy's madness for a few moments, and you almost stay there. You know, that moment was a particularly interesting moment for me for that movie. I saw Red Dawn yesterday, and I'll keep my feelings to myself on that one. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's good. It's just after you see the movies that you see here that span the globe, span every possible genre and subject matter, when you see an American blockbuster like Red Dawn, it just can't. There's just no way it can live up to the films that have played here. Looper, of course, is outstanding. Frankenweenie is outstanding. Saw the other secret screening, Ben Wheatley's Sightseers. I laughed a lot. I thought it was really funny, and it's really deep, dark, black humor. Whether or not I like the movie or not, I still am not quite certain, because I'm still trying to figure out what the point of the whole thing was. And some movies don't have to have a point. Some movies are just about being funny and having the story that it tells. It has a story. It's really well done about a couple that end up killing more people than you would expect a couple like them to do. But it's really well directed by Ben Wheatley. It's really well acted. It's really funny. I couldn't get the point of it all, I guess, is the best way I can describe it. I think it was a phenomenal year at Fantastic Fest, and I will have to keep coming until they pull out my rotting corpse, and they'll probably shoot a movie about it as they do it and just release it for that next year's Fantastic Fest, which will be totally appropriate. This year has been amazing. I am deeply, deeply honored to be a part of Ain't It Cool and be a part of this festival, and I will keep coming as long as they let me.
I couldn't feel any more the same about that than you. It is absolutely the best week of the year. It's better than Christmas. It's better than anything else. Yeah, I can't wait to come back next year.
Yeah, maybe it is better than Christmas. Fantastic Fest, better than Christmas.